And also there is and another ones. Then there are the 8 there says like the incompatible propensity. This one is the being the bound by the one's ties. Flagrant depravities. The lack of the dissatisfaction with samsara, completely absence of the faith, taking pleasure in bad actions, lack of interest in the Dharma, and the heedlessness of the vows and of the samayas. These are the 8 incompatible propensities that leave no freedoms. And of course, it is the being bounded by the one's ties. And it is like tired means it's rebounding our own self, clinging and grasping, desire, attachment, maybe also the hesitated, like very strong boundaries of the desire, attachment towards our families. We have a very strong aggressive hatred towards the enemies, and this kind of something disturbing emotions, and something like there is like difficult to practice in the Dharma, and therefore it's like the being bounded by our own through the disturbing emotion or through some different circumstances like this. And also is the flagrant depravity. Depravity, it is like kind of same as the last time we say, it's like the, how do you say it, the shallow tongue, the evils, like kind of the actions here. Someone is like naturally we have characteristics, behaviors, and the movement is automatic, it's negative. All the times naturally hurting to others, criticize to others, and like curiosity to others, like this kind of also is very much the incompatible propensity circumstances, and it's make non-freedoms. Of course, it is the like kind of lack of the dissatisfaction, faith, samsara, and it's like never have any sad to the samsara, and it's like kind of desire attachment to the samsara. And when we look at the samsara, we have such and such a suffering, but we never kind of hesitate to the samsara. Samsaric sufferings we don't like, but we have such like the how do you say, it's like a dissatisfaction of the samsaric things. We have all the time dissatisfaction for the samsara. What does it mean? We love to the samsara. We want to do samsaric activities. We want to be there, but we don't want to injured by the samsaric suffering. If we have a lack of the dissatisfaction in the samsara, then how we can to make the freedom of the samsaras? Because if someone says, hey, don't go to there's the samsara, you can to injure. No, I don't want to. I want to go to theirs. There's no kind of listen. And this kind of then is a big kind of the incompatible propensitive circumstances. Completely absence of the faith into the like kind of the Dharma. We sometimes say like, even the Buddha is enlightened, fly in the front of ours, no faith, no devotion, no interest. Maybe it's something he's maybe magically, I don't know, I'm better than him. And like a kind of during the Buddha, his cousin brother, Devadatta, it's like this. Even he's like, he see the qualities of the Buddha, but still think maybe this, I'm better than him. All the time is thinking. And then it's like, certainly his big kind of problem like this. And the really to, how do you say, the lack of the faith is big kind of problem, interest to Dharma. Then taking the pleasure in bad actions. Of course, this kind of incompatible propensity circumstances. Someone's doing, hurting, thief, like a robber. These things, they think is the virtue. These things is really pleasures. You know, it is like in my areas, there is one guy. He's very handsome, very powerful, and he's very brave, and he handshake in the Chami Mao. And then he has a position like he can to kill the few people. And also during the revolutions, he killed many people. And then he's very much young, and he has a gun. And then his birds is flying in the sky. He's just shooting. And hundreds he killed and falling down like the bird is falling down. Looks like raining. And they say, why you do like this? Oh, pleasures. He go to in the wild animals he killed. And also sometimes he killed many refugees in Tibet, own people. And then it's like everybody cannot to say direct. If he's angry, he can kill you. He have this position. And then is nobody cannot. He says, my pleasures to kill them. And then slowly he become old. He become like 80 years old. Then Mao Zedong died. And after Deng Xiaoping is been the president, and religious kind of freedoms, everybody practice Dharma. And then he cannot to practice Dharma because it's like he already kind of proudly to say, I don't want it. And then he's becomes, it's a really like kind of the, how do you say, immediate retributions karma. And during the night, his dreams, what he killed, animals, humans coming into his dream, they attack to him. And then it's like whole night is such nightmares. His wife, children, to whole night sometimes need to take care of him. And then he slowly becomes sick. And then it's like each moment scaring. He said, and this person's coming. This animal is coming. When it's like he shooted like direct, and this one is coming direct in the influence. It's like imagine. And like kind of the, how do you say, tendencies. And then he's going to secretly to ask to the lamas, can you to do something for me? It's like, I cannot sleep, I cannot to relax now, and like this. Then is later result, not good, but when he was the young, he said pleasure. It's a killing to the others. Then finally like this, then after he's died, 100% horrible situation. But then this kind of happened, we need to taking care of ourselves. Our tendencies is really naturally, I don't know, it's like when we look at the children's, some children's, they automatically want to kill everything, you know, rebels. And some children's all the time is compassion kind. This is our tendencies. Our tendencies like habitual tendencies. We kill to hurting to others. We a little pleasure. This is like a truth. And then it's like ourselves, of course, someone's disturbed, it's not. Therefore, someone's taking the pleasure for bad action, killing, doing like kind of robbering. This sort of, that is also is really incompatible propensity circumstances. Lack of the interest in the Dharma. Of course, this is the, if you haven't got any interest, how we can, there's example, if they like a hungry dog, you collect a lot of grass, put at the front to ask dog to, you need to eat. Hungry dog cannot eat grass. Grass cannot go to the hungry dog's stomach. It's like this. If you haven't got any interest to study Dharma, how is Dharma's benefit for us? and like this. Then is the heedlessness of the vows. Maybe we is like enter into the Vinayanas to take the old individual liberation vows, Buddhist vows, and we like kind of the break and to broken the vows. This is also maybe sometimes it's really is like the incompatible propensity circumstances. And of course the samayas, and also this is we are enter into the secret mantrayanas, receive the teaching, receive like this, and then broken samaya, we criticize to the teacher, we criticize to the lineage, and afterwards to give up, it's not very good, and therefore it's like also it's kind of the hindrance, kind of the obstacles. This is also the kind of the incompatible propensity circumstances. These are the 8 incompatible propensity that leave no freedom, and we need to check again and again this 16 non-freedom of this is like the 8 intrusive circumstances are leave no freedom, practice the Dharma City. And now it's like more details. It's this one. Before it's like to make short, now a little bit more detail. We says the boundaries are on tight, tired. And the people in whom the 5 poisons, like 5 poisons, is the ignorant, desire attachment, anger, jealousy, proud, like this. These kind of negative emotions, poisons, that is negative emotions, such as hatred for the enemies, infatuation with friends, and infatuate like a kind of like a great desire attachment to the friends, infatuation with the friend, and the relatives, and so forth, are the extremely strong, may wish from time to time that they could practice some kind of the true Dharma, but it's like the purely and utterly to practice is very difficult. And sometimes it's okay, but it's like the disturbing emotion, the boundary of the hatred towards enemies, and also infatuation, the infatuations with the friend and relatives, and then it's like there's no chance to really to practice the Dharma. But the 5 poisons are the true strong, like a kind of the turmoil of the disturbing emotions, dominate their mind most of the time, and the preventing them from evil accumulating the Dharma purposely, ever accomplishing them, from the ever accomplishing the Dharma, because it's like the 5 disturbing emotions overt out of the mind. Mind is completely to be enslavement, and then there's no freedoms completely in order to do something accomplishing the Dharma purposely. There's no chance, because the 5 poisons, true strong desire. I have desire attachment, I am angry, I hated, I have a lot of jealousies. It's not really this. And also the very stupid beings, lacking even the slightest government of the intelligence, might enter the Dharma, but being unable to understand a single word of the teaching, or it is the meaning, they will never be able to study or reflect on, meditate upon it. That is, I already taught. Sometimes this is like kind of the influence of our past negative actions, and our ignorance so thick, dense, And that is like difficult in this situation. Of course, this is maybe is a not big dangers. I wouldn't say it's too strong, the, how do you say, intrusive circumstances. Maybe if we have these situations, maybe recite the mantras, and maybe to make the prestations, to make the circumambulation. And maybe it's like in the Buddhist perspective, you need to recite mantra, like Machushura's mantra, any different deities. It's really to make the clever your mind as 100%. And like this, maybe it's like to visit some holy place. And like this, the ignorant is possible to they get rid. Ignorant is possible to purify it. And not, I mean, it's like, it's a very manipulated emotion, the disturbing emotion. Of course, it is that the source of the all other disturbing emotion, but ignorant is like a little bit workable than the others and other emotions. And ignorant produced the other emotions, like that kind of the double disturbing emotions, like desire attachment, and comes from the ignorant, and then is a too strong desire attachment, difficult to control, no freedom. And hatred is also like this, arrogant is like this, jealousy is like this. And therefore, ignorant, maybe we can to practice, recite the mantras, millions. And it can to help persecution, circumambulation, like this. And then once people have been taken as the disciples by a fourth spiritual friend, this is like a kind of the predominated or dominated by the influence of the demons. This is sometimes like a kind of fourth spiritual friend who is to teach the view and action and the prevented the manner the mind will be lead on to the wrong path and will not be in accord with the true Dharma. And also it's like sometimes like this. For example, in Tibet, there's most great master of the Jetsun Milarepa. He has a very great one student, is called the Rinpoche. Rinpoche, his name. But finally, he's the really like a kind of serious lineage holder of the Jetsun Milarepa. But the first time he has this kind of influence, he rely on one teacher, and this teacher is like kind of the fourth, the spiritual friend. But something taught to him, and he loved very much that. He respect. And then it's like sometimes Milarepa says, if you really follow me, it's like you need to give up your these faults in the spiritual friends. He said, no. And until I see your really qualities, I don't want to, because first my teacher is so good. He told him this, that, and he all the times. And then it's like Milarepa, sometimes they went in the desert, and in the middle of the desert, and Milarepa has this magic. He made that stone is like a big tendon and stone. How do you call that this rain? It's like a snow rain, big, like, heavy or other? It's this is, how do you call the, hey, it's a, hail. Okay, yeah, hail. And big hail like this. Sometimes it's really in Tibet, and they hit you and become, big mark. And sometimes they kill the birds. This kind of, they certainly can. And then it's the Milarepa say, hey, Rinpoche, what can we do now? We need to something. And Rinpoche says, I can't do nothing then. There is a desert, no kind of hiding some cave or nothing. And then Milarepa, he looked around, there's one yak horn. And he entered inside, and Rinpoche look, in the Milarepa is inside the yak horn. And to sitting there, he's singing. if like a student is like same as a father, please to come in the yak home. And the yak home is very comfortable. The hails, no problems. And he said, of course, he Buddhist, but finger this doesn't go inside. And then he says, Malaripa has never become the small, home is never become the big, but we can do this. And then he says, this is something, but she still is not have such faith. And then it's like one day, and he says like, okay, Malaripa, the Rinpoche, can you make tea? And he's making the tea, and then is Malaripa singing. Then all the wild donkeys, animals coming to, then listen. And then he's distracted, and saying, wow, I think is this Malaripa great yogi. This is the really great enlightenment and wonderful. He's a little distracted, and Malaripa, he robbed his book, burned it. And certainly it's like this, and then Malaripa is tea is ready. Yes, where's your books? Why you burned my books? He was first time very sad, angry, but then it's Malaripa says this kind of thoughts and the spiritual friends. Then he telling to it like this. Sometimes it's like, of course, some people are very much determined, decisive. If first time is they don't care, something follow. After very difficult to turn to back like this. Says yesterday, it's like many in Tibet now, sometimes it's like they enter into the different religious and spiritual, and then never they are turned back. They just to go to there is, how to say, it's like if you tell to them maybe Buddha's teachings, no, I'm entered to in this path, I never to turn to back. It is like sometimes influence, we need to check them, otherwise it's like really it is a good spirituality or which kind, we don't know, therefore all the times need to check. And when we even follow some spiritual teachers, we need to take care of them. Sometimes negative the teacher, negative friend, negative circumstances influence to us, then it's like kind of change. Our life is dominated, dominated by this kind of influence. And the people who want to learn to the Dharma, but are the too lazy like me, without even a trace of the diligent, there's nothing. All the time want to sleeping, eating, even sometimes difficult to toilet, And I need to put some in the tube, bring two in the bed. Better to don't go. But ladies cannot do that, you need to go to toilet. Okay. Too much laziness, diligence will never accomplish. It is because they are so insulated in their own indolence and the procrastination. Procrastination is all the time putting the postpone. Today is okay, I can't sleep. I will practice tomorrow. Today I will go to drink coffee, to go to cinema, go to sightseeing, go to outside. All the time is the procrastination. There is like kind of ideas, and then it's like it's difficult to practice the dharmas. And why not to stop 5 minutes?